soul with it. Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? The Island Rixx coming to you live with yet another video. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to click that subscribe button. I want to get into this news, the story that broke out. It was reported that small market teams reportedly support Pacers filing tampering charges against the Lakers. I read this on Laker Nation. I've also read it on NBC Sports. It also says, in fact, there's word that other small and mid-market team officials have reached out to the Pacers and told them, good for you, fight the good fight. Now, to me, a name that really pops out and sticks out to me when it comes, when it's pertaining to these small market teams, is Dan Gilbert. I'm just come out and say I think that Dan Gilbert is somebody who's really, pretty much supporting these tampering, allegations when it comes to the Lakers and Paul George. And the reason I say Dan Gilbert, deja vu when I think about the whole Chris Paul trade, and he was just mad because that pretty much the Lakers were just going to get Chris Paul for pretty much nothing, and he was really upset, and he felt like, how were they able to get Chris Paul? It was just pretty much a lot of hate coming from Dan Gilbert. He didn't understand it, and he was just pretty much kind of enforcing the NBA, trying to get NBA to step in, and David Stern came in. So it's just pretty much like deja vu all over again. And another thing is, I feel as though like the Pacers are upset because the Lakers offered them a lot. They offered them, I think, Clarkson and some other pieces. I think Randall, if I'm not mistaken, but they offered some other pieces. It's just that the Pacers didn't want that, so they took Oladipo. So now that they came up, pretty much with nothing of, high value, now all of a sudden they want them to look into, tampering and all these other allegations and stuff. So it's just that, they're upset. They're really just upset. And, to me, I feel as though like they just feel like Paul George is going to go to the Lakers anyway. So they're like, oh man, like we didn't get anything for him, and then he gonna end up going to that team anyway. And then on top of that, I feel like Cleveland, the reason they're in full support, I feel like behind the scenes, Dan Gilbert is in full support, is because he felt as though LeBron James is about to walk away. You're not going to get anything for LeBron James. Like, I think he's the head of the snake, really. Like all these other, you think about all these other teams, these all small market teams. A lot of these small market teams are really good. The Milwaukee Bucks are good. The Phoenix Suns are good. Any small market team that you could really think about, they're really in a good position. The only small market team that I could really think about that would really be upset would be, possibly it would be the Oklahoma City Thunders, because they feel like they're about to lose Paul George. That's the only team that I can really give an edge to. But other than that, I can only see Cleveland would be a team that really get mad. I think Dan Gilbert is the one who's mad because LeBron James has a player option, and he's not willing to waive his no trade clause and anything. So it's just like, what can you do? You're about to lose your best player, and then Kyrie Irving wants to be traded. What are you going to get of value? Like, what can you do? So I think that Dan Gilbert is pretty much upset, and he's pretty much in full support of these teams. My whole thing is like, I feel like this is going to be an easy thing for the Lakers to beat. They could just be like, man, Paul George said he wants to move there. Like he just said he wants to move to LA, Los Angeles. And Matt Johnson be like, I was just in full support of him wanting to move to LA. We talked about him moving to LA, or it's just something that it's ways they can move around it, unless they got text messages or any track records that that could prove. If they don't have any of that, then there's nothing that they can do, because at the end of the day, it's all about what you can prove. And if they can't prove anything, it's nothing that they can do. It's nothing they can do moving forward. So, and they know that Lonzo Ball, if they got Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram at the 2, Paul George at the 3, LeBron James at the 4, that's pretty much just a championship pretty much waiting to happen. And that's a huge threat in the NBA right now, So I think that You know, like I said, Dan Gilbert is behind this. Other small market teams, they don't really care. I don't think no mid market teams care. Like the Grizzlies, they don't care. Like all these other teams, I don't think they care. But however, you know, we'll see how it plays out. You know, y'all get in that comment box, like, share, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think. I'm out.
Look, straight from the soul with it.